Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the BumbleKing, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
We're edging ever and ever closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
It's inevitable at this point. We can't turn it around now. This is happening.
As Santa Thanos once said, I am inevitable.
I knew it. I knew he was Santa. It explains so much. And yet absolutely nothing at the same time.
If you're looking for explanations, though, please join us on January 31st, just before midnight Eastern Standard Time, for the end of the year, very much end of the year, BumbleKast Live. We're going to be running from my New Year's to Kyle's New Year's, so check us out then.
Indeed. Also, Santa spelled backwards is Thanos. True.
I would check the validity of that. But first, we have to get to the questions from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Yes. Also, it's December 31st, Ian, not January 31st.
You know what, Kyle? We are this close to finishing the holidays, and I have no red-nosed reindeer to guide me through the fog that is my brain.
And you are this close to catching a plane to Arizona and literally murdering me. I knew it. Wouldn't blame you. Wouldn't blame you in the slightest.
I need more than 3 Christmas spirits to visit me to help me through this, Kyle. They're going to have to be like 6 or 7. It'll be an intervention. I don't know what all their themes are going to be, but anyway, let's do some Q&A.
All right, here we go. We get into this one here. Start off with Puppy the Scholar. I remembered a story or blog post series written by Ian on the Archie Sonic Universe website called Jenica's Ascent, but I can't find any of it now. I have found archives of Knuckles' Ascent, but I'm confused. Was Jenica's Ascent real? And if so, is there any way I can find it now? I need to reread it. I'm going nuts.
For those of you who don't know or remember, the Archie Sonic blogs, well, one thing, there used to be Archie Sonic blogs, and some of them were Q&A done in character, some of them were like little tiny side stories that were done, and one of them was kind of following the Dark Mobius side of things after the Silver miniseries. Sadly, that project didn't last longer than like a year, I think. And when it shut down, it took everything with it. I might have the old rough drafts somewhere in a backup drive, but aside from maybe the Wayback Machine, it's gone as far as I know.
Oh, we'll find it. We'll piece it together. We'll figure it out. I think it's time for the Discord, the BumbleKast Discord, to work together. Come on, we can do it. In the meantime, let's get into this question from Quaggle Gaggle Yearns to Haggle. Act now, orders are standing by. I'm curious, what are your takes on the Mario movie so far? Everything I've seen is reminding me of the vibes the Peanuts movie had from Blue Sky, and I won't lie, this has potential. But what about you? How does it compare to what we have from the Sonic movies? I know I'm excited to hear music from the actual games. Thanks. Also cool not to get Blade Runner with dinosaurs again, though that sounds really cool still. If they don't have any references to the original live action movie, I'm afraid I'm going to have to. I'm afraid I'm going to be very, very angry.
I'll be surprised, because this seems to be one big love letter to the franchise from what we've seen thus far.
And the original live action Mario movie is, for better or worse, part of the franchise. So it better be referenced somewhere. If they're going to pay homage to everything else, they got to do it. And, of course, you got to have something from the Super Show in there, too. They got to do the Mario at some point.
You would hope. So, I'm not sure. It's very pretty. The trailer is gorgeous, and I like that they're leaning hard into the whimsical, colorful wackiness that is Mario. They're not shying away from it at all. They aren't treating it like something that has to be gently introduced. This is Mario. Mm-hmm. Like maybe they're doing the whole thing that they're from Alter Brooklyn, but it's still a very cartoony Brooklyn. It's still, a cartoony world. So I like that a lot. Not 100% sold on the voice cast. I mean, Jack Black, as far as Bowser, has been fun.
Yes.
But Jack Black is basically a cartoon character in real life anyway. So that fits. Celebrity voice actors, yeah, I don't know. There hasn't been anything like decidedly bad in the trailer so far. Chris Pratt's Mario is like room temperature tap water. It's not offensive, but it's not endearing either.
Honestly, it is kind of offensive in just how dull and boring it is.
But I don't know. I worry that it might be too fan servicey. The big sequence where they're all driving down Rainbow Road in their various assorted carts is like, okay, how does this make logical sense within the context of the movie? If there's a reason for all this that isn't just contrived so that they have a Mario Kart reference, cool. That's great that they were able to work it all in together. If it's just there to say, hey, we're referencing this, not so much. And yes, I know that's coming from me. You and your hot takes. I robbed you of your initiative. At the very least, it looks like it will be fun and very, very, very pretty.
Oh,
God, it's pretty. So
yes.
It'll be fun to look at the very least. So we'll see.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. The voice cast is me. I'm at least tepid on Mario's voice. Like, why this voice? What are they going for? They're not going for anything. It sounds like, really. They're going for a very generic, plain, 100% just white bread guy. Why is Chris Pratt?
I know Mario's supposed to be the quintessential everyman, but come on.
He doesn't have to sound like the everyman.
He's got, you know what? No, that's a whole other rant to be had. The movie isn't out yet. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah. Here's a question from Scurvy Pirate Dog. With the whole talk of wanting to bring the freedom fighters back and all, I was thinking, wouldn't Sally, Bunny, and Rotor be the easiest to make a case for? Not only for their cameos in Sonic Spinball, which was made canon in Origins, but also with how they follow the Teams of Three concept that was introduced in Sonic Heroes, with Team Sonic, Dark, Chaotix, and so on.
No, sadly. The Sonic Spinball thing has not carried as much weight as I hoped it would. And the Teams of Three thing from Heroes doesn't really matter too much anymore. It has carried over into some other things like Team Sonic Racing, but that mostly is carried over into like Team Sonic and Team Dark. Team Rose has a rotating roster, and the Chaotix have been MIA in game format for a bit now. Vector was with Silver and Blaze with barely a mention of anybody else, so it's not great. Sally has the best chance because of her longevity and exposure to multimedia in the franchise. You can at least point at a history of her having been more prominent. Bunny is maybe a little stronger case just because she has a more clearly defined gameplay gimmick. Maybe Rotor, my poor boy, not so much, but I don't know. I'm doing what I can on my end, and we'll see where it goes.
Yep. I would like to see them regardless. I just want to see them. Please, anybody? Here's one from Sequoia. In Sonic X, Vector was portrayed to be a bit of a romantic, going to great lengths to impress his crush and spending an entire episode trying to get Tails and Cosmo together because he noticed Tails' crush on her. While I know X isn't canon, I was curious if this aspect of Vector's personality would ever be touched upon in IDW or otherwise. I was always very fond of this side of him and would love to see it again.
It was fun. I wouldn't mind seeing that myself. I thought it would be off the table because Sonic X is a past animation and SEGA doesn't like to mine from that. But we did get notes from SEGA towards the end of Metal Virus saying, in X, he had a thing for vanilla. It'd be funny if we brought that back. It's like, yes, I will not contest this. I agree. Good note. Let's add that in there. So maybe that can be expanded upon. That could be fun, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Could be fun. Here's a question from Snowflame. How well do you think Surge and Bass from Mega Man would get along?
If they could get past the immediate desire to just murder each other, I think they'd get along fine. The general distaste for their counterparts and liking causing them bodily harm and not being particularly inclined to stop one another's rampages if they decide to so do, I could see them live and let live, potentially.
Yeah, but Bass is a little bit more of a... He's not quite as caustic as Surge. So
yeah, I was going to say it kind of depends on which game, but
yeah, it's true, but still, even
I guess he's a little more pointed in his anger and a little less burn the world.
Yeah, I feel like even he would be kind of like, okay, you're going a bit too far. I feel like he has a line, and Surge would cross it. But
yeah, okay, I guess you're right. I can see that.
Yeah. Eventually, it would just get to a point where, he wouldn't let it slide. It would take a while to get there, though. I think
it would have to personally affect him.
Right. Yes. And our last question before we take a break is from Sprites Forever. Here's a simple but fun one. How would a meeting between the Freedom Fighters and the Team Fortress 2 mercenaries go? Would they find common ground? Would some even team up? Or would the Freedom Fighter view the mercs as villains?
We have very different audiences here and censorship levels.
Very different franchises.
Yeah. I mean, you could go the route they went with expiration date, which was fairly bloodless and tame for Team Fortress 2. But there was still a lot of dark humor that I don't know would really translate great to kind of cross over. And I don't know, if you take the teeth away from Team Fortress 2 with or without pliers, it just kind of ceases to be, you know? So I don't know if you could do a really appropriate crossover between the two with one not being necessarily properly represented. Maybe it's doable. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I like the idea of them basically being in 2-fort playing capture the flag. You know, the Freedom Fighters are in blue base and they need the intel for whatever reason, and the mercs have no idea what they're up against. Scout wonders why they're raiding a furry convention, but whatever, as long as he's getting paid. And go from there. Maybe if you lean more into the video game aspect of it so that the carnage is lampshaded.
Maybe.
Sonic gets hit with a rocket and instead of turning into Gibbs, he just explodes into rings and then respawns. Like, what happened?
Maybe.
Fun.
Maybe. Or it could just be Shadow and Whisper. There you go. Put them in there. That's it. That's all you need. Just those two. You got the guns. That's all you need. Just the gunners.
Shadow uses chaos control to bop between the medic right behind you. Chaos spears him.
Ooh, nasty. Yeah, it would be short, is what it would be. A Team Fortress 2 Sonic crossover would not last very long if you went by, one death rules, Of course,
maybe it's too meta of a joke, but spies trying to infiltrate is one of them. He gets exposed, but he, to match their height, he has to do the spy crab walk.
Yes,
to get the right height out of
it. This is another Boom episode, a
more
violent less. Boom episode. Spy
now
crab.
You got me thinking of Amy using her hammer spring to basically be a free rocket jump.
It's going to be like, kind of a rocket jump style thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just launches them. Man, it'd be fun. It'd be fun. I think there's possibilities there.
Maybe.
It's doable. It's Sonic, man. It can cross over with literally anything. Sonic and Alien could cross over. Like, it would be fine. You don't have to worry about it too much. It just kind of works. All right. Let's go ahead and take a quick break and then come back with more BumbleKast. We're back, and we got this question here from the ID card. In Sonic 4, we see that Sonic has started implementing the use of the homing attack, a technique he would continue to use moving into Sonic Adventure and onwards. In Sonic Unleashed, the game introduced the boost mechanic, which we see Sonic demonstrate during the intro cutscene, still the best Sonic opening cinematic and cutscene to date, and has become a staple of the series since. At the end of Generations, Classic Sonic even attempts to perform this midair and fails, but his older applauded his efforts and told him he'd eventually get better. My question is, how long did it take for Classic Sonic to master the homing attack technique he learned from his older self, and how long did it take for modern Sonic to master boosting his speed?
I honestly think it's a fool's errand trying to define that, because Sonic operates on an extreme sliding time scale. Like, if Classic is past, and if they decide to make new Classic games, each one of those is more time in between the switch over to modern, which happens maybe a year between events. It's fuzzy math at absolute best. So, I mean, we can see for sure that there is... I know that there's the appeal of seeing Sonic grow and develop abilities and master them, but I think there's also a point in time, and this is a lesson I've had to learn hard myself. There comes a time where you have to just accept that these are game mechanics and they don't necessarily need a lore rationale to them.
I mean,
my 20-year-old self is staring daggers at me through time for such blasphemy, but
I mean, at some point you just kind of shrug and be like, all right, this is how it is now, I guess. Like, look at in Frontiers, maybe I guess light spoilers for Sonic's moveset in Frontiers. He can do the drop dash in that game.
Yeah.
And it's the only time modern Sonic has ever done any sort of drop dash technique. Even though if you go by Mania, which is apparently in the past, he's been able to do the drop dash this whole time. He's just only now starting to do it in a 3D game. So, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's why you should just not think about it too hard. In the meantime, let's think about this question here from the internet person. So you've talked about the possibility of IDW becoming canon, but that doesn't extend to Prime, right? Even in the first episode, there's some contradictions to the lore that feel intentional, so Prime is flat out non-canon, right?
From my understanding, right now, modern Sonic media is all-inclusive. You know, movie Sonic is a movie Sonic, classic is classic, and modern is modern.
And modern includes IDW and Prime?
To an extent, yes.
Okay.
I know there are a lot of questions and confused noises right now, and all I can say is just roll for it right now. I could speak more on the matter, but I don't think I can. So I gotta just walk away from that and not go into any greater detail at the moment. Sorry.
The canon is in flux, and so be prepared for fluxing. There will be a lot of fluxing. Here's a question from Windstar Osprey. You mentioned that Grease the Orangutan, name pending, aka the chief mechanic, wasn't anywhere near Tails' level. But what about Smithy? How would Sonic's sidekick fare in a contest of smarts against the Cutter's chocolate-covered lion? Seriously, the man is brown, like really brown.
In terms of weapon development, I would figure they're fairly on par. But I think Smithy is more focused on that level of design, whereas Tails is more kind of universally gifted in terms of intelligence and ability.
Alrighty. Here's a question from Yu. I notice people always ask you about their headcanons and was actually wondering what yours are regarding the characters in the Sonic games. Also, love the interaction between Sonic and Knuckles and Frontiers. Hope to see more of them because they were really fun to watch. I agree.
Thank you.
I agree.
And depending on who you ask, you've been reading that for the past 15 years.
Your headcanon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been reading your Sonic headcanons since before then.
I mean, I try to take everything into account before I pitch something. Like, maybe this is something that I think makes sense, but does it really make sense to the greater franchise? Am I putting this in here because I think it's good for the story, or am I putting it in there as wish fulfillment? And I really try not to do anything that's really wish fulfillment unless it's like something innocuous and fun that's not really going to affect the canon. If it's just a silly thing, that's one thing. But I try not to do anything that I know is gonna, not necessarily jive with the whole franchise, because that's not mine to do. I'm contributing to it. I'm not directing it. And there's editors and licensors above me that can step in and say, no, steer it back this other way. But honestly, I guess we've touched upon some things tangentially on the show. How I wish Shadow was a little more robust character-wise. I guess you could call that a headcanon. But I don't know. It's really hard for me to make a very clear line between what I think works for the franchise, because I've been with it for so long, and what is just my personal headcanon.
Right. It's been a long time since you've really had to separate the two. It's like you've become too entrenched to get into too much headcanon-y stuff.
Yeah. I don't think I could really define that until I'm out. Until I have washed my hands of the franchise and can go back to just being a fan.
Yes. No
Which
more.
Is gonna be weird when that happens.
No more Sonic. Wait. No, hold on. Wait. Here's a question from the cartoonist. I normally ask silly questions, but you're both into science stuff, so I'm wondering what your highlights for science news of 2022 are. Was it the breathtaking photos from the James Webb Telescope, or that we finally have a photo of the black hole in the center of the Milky Way?
Honestly, I've had my head down with personal and professional stuff so much, I barely got to follow any of the cool stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, direct, or as direct as we're going to get, observation of a black hole is freaking cool. Even cooler that they did the math beforehand and had already figured out what it should look like, and then they verified it. That to me is the coolest thing.
Mm-hmm.
That you can do theoretical mathematics to produce an image, and then you observe it and it becomes accurate. I don't know. That buzzes my brain.
Yeah, that's really
cool.
That is really cool. Yeah.
Recent, as of this recording, they made the first steps towards actual viable fusion reactions.
Yes, that is. That's a big step. That's something that is going to be big, I think, going forward. So we'll see how it pans out. But that's potentially very exciting. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. That's really cool. Also, we've kind of started surprisingly getting brain cells viable from grown brain cells, which is like,
oh really?
Yeah, which is somewhat frightening, but also pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at all the ways that science can be used inappropriately, it's terrifying. But I am of the mind that if it can do good, it should be pursued. Don't let the outliers, don't let the folks who will abuse it deny those who could benefit from it.
Absolutely, yep. And our last regular question is from Way Past Ordinary. Hi, so is it just me, or does Sonic seem to have growing romantic feelings for Amy? Just me? Okay, unless...
This debate is as old as the franchise.
Unless...
It has been addressed in various forms of media with varying degrees of sophistication, maturity, I guess. But there is no definitive answer right now.
And there may never be. That's what headcanons are for. Eject! Jump out of the head cannon. Get blasted out of the head cannon, actually, is what we should do. And over into the Frontiers spoiler zone. Warning, if you have not played Sonic Frontiers and do not want to be spoiled on contents regarding Sonic Frontiers, then, hey, we'll see you next time. But if you do want some Sonic Frontiers spoilers, stick around, because we got this question here from Arcfighter. Is there any connection between the Phantom Ruby and cyberspace? Its ability to conjure up illusionary constructs feels like it has some similarities to the way cyberspace seems to summon the various robots in Frontiers.
As of the main game's release, no. The robots that are conjured from cyberspace are data that is being restored to a physical state. It is cyberspace's ability to generate the material that is stored within it. The Phantom Ruby is purely virtual constructs.
Alrighty. And our very last question for this episode is from Of the Stars. What's your favorite boss in Sonic Frontiers, and why is it Wyvern?
No. Honestly, they were all so quick and easy. I didn't really feel like I experienced them much. I mean, once you realize that parry lasts for as long as you hold it, they all become a joke.
A little bit, yeah.
The hardest thing about Wyvern was knowing that you have to parry twice in a row, which is, oh, you hit me that time. Well, now you're not going to do it again. I kind of like the fight with the Knight, because getting the shield to do the proper angle to do damage was at least a little fun and a little different, other than hit, parry. Hit, parry. Spin dash sound effects as you charge up your cinematic. Hit, parry. You're done.
Yeah, but Wyvern has the coolest music. You say. You say. Oh, well.
Again, I went through them so fast I don't remember whose track was what.
I mean, honestly, they're kind of... They're really not that hard, right? They're I don't hate the bosses. Actually, I think the most memorable boss is probably the end, because that's the only one that actually required some actual skill. That's about it. But it's also kind of annoying. I really was sick of hearing the end's monologue after like the fourth time. Yeah, you really make things real easy for yourself if you grind too much. So, spoiler alert, don't grind too much. Don't overgrind, because that's what I did, and I made the game way too easy. Oh, well.
That's going to wrap us up for this episode of the BumbleKast. Join us Friday for a standard Q&A. It's been a while, eh?
Yeah.
Until then, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. No, wait.
You got some names to read, buddy.
Yes. Big thank you to all the folks over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members for making this show possible. Big thank you to Daniel H., James K., Jennifer R., John B., Robotnik Cone, Sam Cybercat, Samuel P., Torchbound, Mike B., Dave M., Andrew D., Saluch Cat, Coupling Crew 128, J. Frost, Do As Dizden, Hero of Light 13, Professor Scruffy Matt, Noni, Chris A., Sonic, Triforce Riku, John M., Jib, Yami M., Fiona M., Lee H.K., Lisa M., Ben Wolfsbane, Sonic, Chevelle, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Keeper of Monsters, Axis, Arc Fighter, Xanderoni the Painter, Tick Tick, Jonathan D., The Name is X, Nimric, Godzilla, Nondal, Quaggle Gaggle, Starlight Sec, Cameron H., Justin S., Twilord, Ava Artig, Dove, Alex G.S., Justin Mountain Soul, Dadler the Dalek, Sonic Legacy, Chaos Sonic 1, Pedantic Cat the Discan, Red the Supernamic, Les, Jennifer H., Chad, Jolene B., Alphamon or Yukon, Inc. Thinks, Joshua S., Omega Watt, Dapper Shinks, Of the Stars, Preston M., Noah S., and Tails, Sonic 84, Kojiro Highwind, Awesome Cakester, Supersonic Fan, Derucival, Radry, Yuma221, Chase L, Callum Q, KJB, Red Wolf, Wild 48, Chaos Shadow, Miles the Prower, Navarre, Exidel, Agent Kaz, For Sonic Fan, Rhythm Raccoon, Puppy the Scholar, Pigdan 20, In Zephyr, The Marble Gardener, Mox, Miggy Sawdust, ONBD, Temista James, Indabend, Oz Jam, Shimmy M, Curly Quills, Angela V, Vlad Crooker, Wildcard 717, Z Broadcast, IPC, Smiley 21, Sammy S, Bushmitten, Michael P, Sterling Sonic, Jack C, Wheelie Doe, Sandra BH, Congo, Rocketman, Windskull, Supernova, Superior Pizza, Sonic Padge, Delta God 77, Thigolf, Philip is Cold, The Crucified Devil, Loop D Loop, Omega Man 21, Lacey M, Dominic Raccoon, Planet Breezy, Caswell, Mr. Murderbird, The Giant Murdering Bird, Unity, Key Drain, Lori L, Native Nerd 27, Jason G, Cody G, Lucky Lychee, Is It Time If She Only Knew, Tetsu Knife, Ultra Guy, Levi C, Crowbo, Nils, Sonic Mania 2099, Hadronis, Noob 600, Salato 02, Paley, Bug Party, Guts, Black Doom, Definitely Not a Worm, Way Past Ordinary, The Cartoonist, Danny the Light, True Cosmic Digilab 79, Zapon Sirion, right? Sirion? Yeah. Zapon Sirion, Cardio, Ryuko Shino, Sonicbot, El Technopada, Buttered Noodles, Miles Power D, Frost the Hobbidon, Metamode, Wheels 2882, Hedgehog, and Jamal S.
There we go. That's the ticket. Now we can go.
All right. Now be good to yourselves. Now you can be good to each other. And we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
That's right. If you started being good to yourself or good to each other before we read the list of names, you're in trouble.
Who's going to enforce it, you? Hold on, be right back.
Okay. Ian didn't like that answer so much, he ran away. No, Twilord, nobody is okay with anybody being a Nermie. Several people are typing. I'm trying to make fetch happen. It's true. It's true.
Okay, sorry, I am back.
Stop trying to make Nermies happen. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of BumbleKing Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at BumbleKing.com and KNGI.org. I found Frontiers to be surprisingly pretty easy overall once I got the hang of the mechanics. And then when I leveled myself up to ridiculous levels, it kind of became a mostly trivial.
Okay.
I didn't even have any problems with the pinball minigame. I actually quite enjoyed the pinball minigame. I wouldn't have minded going on for a bit more because it was just kind of like, oh, it's over already? All right.
I thought it was fairly mindless, but I did it first try.
Yeah, so did I.
And then so many other people were like, oh my God, this is impossible. It's so buggy. I can't do anything. I was like, what are you doing wrong? You just hit the ball and grab the red star rings.
It's like, I wanted it to go longer because I was just grooving out to the music.
Yeah.
It was like, what? Okay.
I mean, yeah, the Sonic Adventure ones were better pinball games. But
yeah.
I thought it was fine. Of course, I've seen folks who said they can't get past Wyvern, that it's too hard. And it's like, I don't understand.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I can see there being some confusion because there's just so much going on. There's so much crap flying around the screen, but
I guess.
I mean, I button mashed and got through it.
I'm used to Sonic games. I'm used to random crap flying around the screen for no reason. Like, it's just how it goes.
And just you abuse the parry and you block all of its projectiles, which gets you in close for the hit.
Yeah.
And then it does its little spinny spin and you parry twice and then you clip through it consistently. with that one animation, and you're done.
I think, the game really doesn't make clear that you can just hold parry for forever and it will work.
Well, in the tutorial, it says timing doesn't matter.
It does say that, but Ian, you expect people to read?
I thought it was harder to figure out how to do the light speed dash because they don't throw that one.
No, they actually do not throw that one at you. Yeah, the Twitch chat or the YouTube chat when I streamed the game actually told me that one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there is a tutorial message in there somewhere, but I feel like that could have been highlighted sooner.
I think Twilord told me. Yep, it's it's one of the sticks. You push it. You push a stick in. I forget what it was, but
I agree with folks saying that the very generous parry is fine, but that should have been like normal mode, and hard mode should have had a timing window.
Yeah.